Each time new information about Jeffrey Epstein comes out, it feels like his past with Donald Trump is more intertwined than many people expected. And today, we've uncovered something that adds another unexpected chapter. Photos that were actually published months ago, but barely made any noise at the time.
And are people still talking about this guy, this creep?
It turns out Epstein actually attended Trump's 1993 New York wedding to Marla Maples, a twist I'm guessing most of you didn't have on your bingo card. CNN published the black and white photos months ago, but they didn't catch much traction at the time. One shot shows Epstein strolling through the Plaza Hotel. In another, he's smiling in the background of a group photo with Allison Stern, Robin Leach, Cecilia Nord, and Howard Stern. And it doesn't end there. Another image from 1993 shows Epstein standing with Trump and his two children, Eric and Ivanka, at the opening of the Harley-Davidson Cafe in New York. For anyone who assumed their interactions were minimal, these snapshots suggest something far more familiar. Then there's the resurfaced footage from 1999, Trump and Epstein chatting and laughing together before a Victoria's Secret fashion show. All of this predates the public exposure of Epstein's crimes, but it certainly adds context to how often the two crossed paths. When CNN reached out to Trump about the wedding photos, he reportedly replied, "You've got to be kidding me," before dismissing the network as fake news and hanging up.
CNN is fake news. I don't take questions from...
Stephen Chung, the White House communications director, later called the images out-of-context frame grabs that were being twisted to imply something they weren't. He repeated Trump's long-standing claim that he had kicked Epstein out of his club years ago.
I have nothing to do with Jeffrey Epstein. I threw him out of my club many years ago because I thought he was a sick pervert.
Photographer Daffyd Jones, who shot the Harley-Davidson Cafe opening, also recalled Epstein clearly, even remembering him handing over a business card that read, "Jeffrey Epstein, Financial Advisor." Then there's Epstein's infamous Little Black Book, packed with over 1,500 contacts. Trump's name appeared there, circled, along with around 38 others, including high-profile figures like Prince Andrew and Ehud Barak. It definitely makes you wonder what that circle was meant to say.
There's nothing incriminating in the file, sir. Quiet.
And the story doesn't end there. Newly released Epstein emails are making waves, especially the ones that mention Donald Trump. One of the emails even claims that Trump knew about the girls, apparently in reference to Trump's own statement that he had kicked Epstein out of Mar-a-Lago for recruiting young women who worked at the club. Epstein also wrote, "I know how dirty Donald is," in a 2018 email to a former White House counsel under Obama. And if that wasn't enough, he didn't shy away from sharing his thoughts on Trump's mental state that same year. In one April 2011 email to his longtime associate Ghislaine Maxwell, Epstein wrote, "I want you to realize that that dog that hasn't barked is Trump. Victim spent hours at my house with him. He has never once been mentioned." There are also emails between Epstein and author Michael Wolff from January 2019, during Trump's first term. Epstein wrote about Trump's claim that he had asked Epstein to resign from Mar-a-Lago. Trump said he asked me to resign. Never remember ever. Of course he knew about the girls as he asked Ghislaine to stop. The White House insists Trump barred Epstein from the club for being a creep, and Trump himself has said Epstein stole young women who worked at Mar-a-Lago, explaining why their association ended. Maxwell, meanwhile, denied recruiting at Mar-a-Lago during an interview earlier this year.
I just wish her well, frankly. I've met her numerous times over the years, especially since I lived in Palm Beach, and I guess they lived in Palm Beach, but I wish her well.
And Epstein's opinions on Trump's mental state? They were far from flattering. In a December 2018 email to former Treasury Secretary Larry Summers, Epstein called Trump borderline insane. But this wasn't a one-off remark. Just a month after Trump's inauguration in January 2017, he had written to a New York Times reporter, "That being said, Donald is crazy. I told you that."
Fake news.
Epstein also regularly exchanged thoughts on Trump's cognitive abilities with Catherine Ruemler, a former Obama White House counsel. For example, in March 2018, he forwarded her a Daily Beast article questioning Trump's stability, noting simply that it was accurate. And going back to July 2017, Rumour wrote, "Trump is truly stupid," to which Epstein replied casually, "Duh." Then there's a December 2018 email where Epstein warned that treating Trump like a mafia don ignored his great dangerous power, adding, "Tightening the noose too slowly risks a very bad situation. Not so with this maniac." He even suggested some people close to Trump agreed that he was borderline insane. And in January 2018, discussing the release of Michael Wolff's book about Trump, Epstein speculated Donald might have early dementia. After a reporter remarked, Trump sounded increasingly unhinged. The emails also show just how open Epstein was about sharing shocking details. In late 2015, he told a New York Times reporter he could produce photos of Donald and girls in bikinis in my kitchen. He even referenced a 20-year-old girlfriend from 1993 that he claimed he gave to Donald after 2 years. Epstein's 2003 birthday album had a similar joke about giving a fully depreciated woman to Trump.
And I was innocent. And here I am because I was able to beat all of the nonsense that was thrown at me.
And here's a wild detail. Nearly a month before Trump met Vladimir Putin in Helsinki in 2018, Epstein emailed that if Russia wanted to understand Trump, they should talk to him. He wrote to a former Prime Minister of Norway, "I think you might suggest to Putin that Lavrov can get insight on talking to me." Epstein even weighed in on the Helsinki summit, calling Trump predictable and saying, he thinks he has charmed his adversary. Admittedly, he has no idea of the symbolism. He has no idea of most things. Harsh. Let's rewind a bit. Trump and Epstein weren't just acquaintances, they were buddies. Their friendship goes back decades, with both men living it up between New York and Palm Beach. There are photos, flight records, and yes, parties. A lot of them. They were spotted together at Trump's Mar-a-Lago club and dining in Epstein's lavish Manhattan mansion. In 2002, Trump told New York Magazine, "I've known Jeff for 15 years. Terrific guy. He's a lot of fun to be with." And then added, "Brace yourself." It is even said that he likes beautiful women as much as I do, and many of them are on the younger side. Yikes. There's also that 1992 NBC clip from Mar-a-Lago, where Trump and Epstein are seen pointing at women on the dance floor like they're picking items off a menu. That same year, Trump reportedly hosted a calendar girl competition at the resort. According to George Haraney, who helped organize it, 28 girls flew in for the event, only to find out that the only guests were Trump and Epstein.
I'll tell you the funniest is that I'll go backstage before a show.
Yes.
And everyone's getting dressed and ready and everything else. And, no men are anywhere. And I'm allowed to go in because I'm the owner of the pageant and therefore I'm inspecting it. I'm inspecting. I want to make sure that
You're like
everything
a doctor.
is good.
You're there.
Yeah, the dress is.
But somewhere along the way, the bromance soured. By 2004, Trump and Epstein were reportedly rivals, both trying to snatch up prime Palm Beach real estate. No one knows exactly what happened, but the vibe clearly changed. By 2019, after Epstein's arrest, Trump was keeping his distance, saying, "I was not a fan. I had a falling out with him a long time ago." Trump has always insisted he had nothing to do with Epstein's shady dealings. He claimed he never flew on the infamous private jet or visited the private island. But then, the flight logs came out, and according to those, Trump flew with Epstein 7 times.
Would you declassify the Epstein files?
Yeah, I would.
All right.
I guess I would. I think that less so because, you don't know. You don't want to affect people's lives if it's phony stuff in there because it's a lot of phony stuff with that whole world.
Then there's Virginia Giuffre, an Epstein survivor who tragically took her own life in April 2025. She said she was working at Mar-a-Lago as a locker room attendant when Ghislaine Maxwell recruited her. Also, former model Stacey Williams told The Guardian last year that Epstein took her to Trump's Fifth Avenue penthouse back in 1993, and then encouraged Trump to grope her. She called it a twisted game. Trump denies it ever happened. But what really sent eyebrows flying were the recordings released by journalist Michael Wolff. In tapes from 2017, Epstein described himself as Donald's closest friend for 10 years. He painted a pretty grim picture. Trump yelling at staff, womanizing, friendless except for Ivanka, his secretary, and a bodyguard. According to Epstein, Trump was almost functionally illiterate, and only read the page 6 gossip column. Ouch.
He's not functionally illiterate. But his reading comprehension is very complicated.
But the part that's likely to stir up the most outrage? Epstein's claims about Trump's behavior with women. He said Trump once bragged after an encounter in an Atlantic City casino, "The only thing I really like to do is wives of my best friends." Charming.
He does nasty things to his best friends' wives. Anyone who first tries to gain trust and loses it.
Of course, Trump's campaign team pushed back hard. His former press secretary Caroline Leavitt called the tapes outlandish false smears and accused Wolf of trying to interfere in the election, on behalf of Kamala Harris, no less.